of Sirens amid the attack on Iran and also how on Iran and how Iran is now vowing a retaliation. There are some reports that are suggesting that there are some sirens that have been heard in Bahrain. Some more reports are also suggesting of a possibility of an attack, because here the proxies of Iran, like the Houthis and the Hezbollahs, they too have vowed retaliation. If you're hearing these sirens in Bahrain, what can one make of it? Patikrit, what is your understanding? What should one make of this development? There is a possibility. Some are also fearing a possible action somewhere on the naval base of the United States in Bahrain.
Absolutely, because Iran does not have the capacity to go and target United States back in North America. So what they will try to target, and I think the Americans are also aware of it, the American bases in the whole of Gulf region. The most immediate ones might even be in Qatar, sorry. The other thing is that many of the missiles which are launched by Iran towards Israel, they actually go through the airspace of many of the Arab countries. So when they go through the airspace of the Arab countries, many times they have also tried to thwart those because they fear that it might fall on them. And secondly, when the missile is going, invariably, the sirens will be raised, alarm will be raised, because you don't know. There are many dimensions to this conflict. There is an issue of Israel versus Iran. Then there's a Shia-Sunni aspect of it. Then there are ethnic aspect to it. There are multiple dimensions to this conflict. It is not a binary conflict.
Patikrit, I apologize for interjecting, but we have more and more information coming in, and I have to let our viewers know of the latest development. Right now, there is news coming in that Iran's Revolutionary Guard has confirmed extensive missile and drone attack. The first wave has been launched against Israel, and this is in response to what the IRGC is calling criminal enemies aggression. Also joining us on this broadcast from Tel Aviv is Scott. Scott, you were with us earlier as well, and I want to learn from you. I want to understand from you, what is the situation like in Tel Aviv right now as we speak?
The situation in Tel Aviv hasn't changed very much in the last 20 minutes since I gave an update. It's quite quiet here. Sirens have gone off once or twice. People have gone in and out of their bomb shelters. Sirens are around the country, not just in Tel Aviv. And I'm sure that if the first wave of drones and missiles has been launched, that it will take quite some time for those drones and missiles to arrive. And let's just be honest, every time an attack is launched, it's not very successful against us.
All right. Also going back to former ambassador who was with us. Sir, I want to know from you, now we are seeing how the proxies of Iran are retaliating. We are hearing that Iran has decided to retaliate and also activate its proxies. What do you think is going to be the final outcome of this conflict? Patikrit says that he believes this is going to be a long-drawn conflict. Do you agree with that assessment?
Ambassador Gunter, are you asking me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I think Israel's going to crush them. I think the United States is going to crush them. I think we have such dramatic air superiority. I can't think of a conflict in the last 50, 60, 70 years where you have such dramatic air superiority that it did not end in a victory for those that have that air superiority. On top of it, we have technological superiority. Remember, the Iranian Air Force is old, antiquated, and have already lost much of their aircraft. Technologically, they are incredibly far behind Israel and the United States. And then let's face it, the intelligence communities have been studying the Iranian threat for 30 years. In fact, long ago, this is even before, the weapons of mass destruction that were supposedly in Iraq. We heard Shimon Peres, I think at the time he was the president of Israel, saying that the real threat was not weapons of mass destruction or supposed weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. It was Iran. So this is something that's not happened overnight. This has been literally decades of planning, and it really took various factors to come together. I believe the first war that we saw really debilitated virtually all of them. The Israelis' brilliant operation where they took down Hezbollah using all the cell phones and the pagers, which was brilliant, took out something like 5,000 of their leaders. As far as Hamas goes, the devastation that we've seen in Gaza and taking out their leadership, Sinwar and all of them, has been devastating. The Houthis have been neutralized as well by the Americans. So what we're seeing is really an enemy that is by no means something that you have to take lightly, but they've been greatly debilitated. I thought your earlier guest who referred to them as a paper tiger, to a certain degree is correct. They still have to be taken seriously, but they are playing with fire if they're messing with my former boss and my friend Donald J. Trump. He gave them, multiple opportunities to give up their nuclear program. They refused. They've always kind of jerked America around, and I believe they're going to pay an extreme price right now. And I think there's a possibility that it's going to be a prolonged war, but I would not bet on it. I think at some point they're going to cry uncle. They're going to be given a way out. And hopefully what we will see is a regime change. And we'll see Iran join the community of nations, including India. And we will see a great change in our world when the #1 sponsor of state terror will be eliminated by Donald J. Trump.
All right. So the Americans are confident. You saw the statement that came in from both the President of the United States and also Benjamin Netanyahu. Burzine, what do you think? How do you think Iran is going to respond? Yes, for now they're issuing all the warnings. Some reports are suggesting that Khamenei has also come up with his first statement, but we are waiting for a confirmation. But what are the options available to Iran now that it seems to be cornered?
Iran will take a scattergun approach. Obviously, the first attempts are to target Israel, which they've done. But air raid sirens have gone off in Bahrain, and assuredly they will go off also elsewhere across the GCC. But the point is they would no doubt this time attempt to attack the 5th Fleet at Mina Salman, Bahrain, or the Al Udeid base, which of course they did as a cosmetic strike last year, Prince Sultan base in Saudi Arabia and elsewhere. And that is because this time the regime is completely battered, beleaguered and wounded in a corner and wants to lash out because it knows it's this or all else. Since it is facing an existential crisis, this is a regime on borrowed time in more ways than one, thoroughly discredited at home, and nobody would shed a tear to see it collapse. So my point is, this is what I need to drive home. They will take a scattergun approach to distract and to bring in other regional players into it, somehow to put pressure on DC and Tel Aviv to stay its hand. But President Trump is determined to go through this. And quite rightly, he is so, because the most recent development in the last few months, particularly with Foreign Minister Arabchi making building bridges visits to Cairo, Riyadh and elsewhere, has led to a sudden change of tone because Riyadh, Abu Dhabi, Kuwait and all feel, quite wrongly in my opinion, that they can live with the current dispensation in Tehran. Remember, these were the very same people, according to the WikiLeaks, as you know, the late King Abdullah, clamoring President Obama to strike the snake's head, referring to President Ahmadinejad back in the day, and to get rid of the regime and this, that, and the other. Now, of course, the Arabs are playing a different tune because somehow they've come to the perverse conclusion, in my opinion, that they can cohabit in the region with a heavyweight like Iran, which has threatened their security in more ways than one since the 1979 revolution, through insurrectionists and other destabilizing means. But they can stay with a beleaguered, battered Iran, and that somehow it's okay and we can plod along. But nothing could be further from the truth. It is a foolish, myopic gesture on the part of the Saudis and the others who think that they can live with an Iran like this. Because at some point, it will come back to bite them. And there is always something known as blowback in the Middle East. Hezbollah has been a nuisance. It's not completely been eliminated, and it needs to be taken out. Without without which Lebanon will not become a normal country. And the Lebanese are waiting to seize their own destiny. Never mind the Iranians, who also have been waiting to do that for the last 47 years.
All right. Gentlemen, stay on. More information coming in, more breaking news. In the latest, it is India that has issued a fresh advisory in Israel, and India is asking Indians in Israel to stay vigilant and follow home front guidelines. That's the latest input. Now, we also have information that there is a statement from Khamenei, plus US has called this Operation Epic Fury, and Israel has called it Operation Lion's Roar. Let's also listen in to what US President Donald Trump said in his first statement when he confirmed the combat operation jointly conducted with Israel and also laid down the objectives of this strike on Iran.
Finally, to the great, proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay sheltered. Don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations. For many years, you have asked for America's help, but you never got it. No president was willing to do what I am willing to do tonight. Now you have a president who is giving you what you want. So let's see how you respond. America is backing you with overwhelming strength and devastating force. Now is the time to seize control of your destiny and to unleash the prosperous and glorious future that is close within your reach. This is the moment for action. Do not let it pass. It has always been the policy of the United States, in particular, my administration, that this terrorist regime can never have a nuclear weapon. I'll say it again. They can never have a nuclear weapon. They've rejected every opportunity to renounce their nuclear ambitions, and we can't take it anymore. Instead, they attempted to rebuild their nuclear program and to continue developing long-range missiles that can now threaten our very good friends and allies in Europe, our troops stationed overseas, and could soon reach the American homeland. To the members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, the armed forces, and all of the police, I say tonight that you must lay down your weapons and have complete immunity, or, in the alternative, face certain death.